Hey everyone, so this is going to be the last one in the series of quick paintings that I'm doing here. Again, just so that you guys can see the size of the paintings, they're pretty small. And the whole idea behind this is to focus on big picture, to focus on strokes, focus on simple values, simple statement, and get more practice in oil and in painting small, in drawing small. When you draw really small, particularly because oil is very clumsy, at least it is for me, particularly because drawing with the brush can be really clumsy and frustrating. This exercise puts you in this mind state of let's focus on less detail and more big picture statement. It's kind of counterintuitive. You would think that a big image would make you focus on big picture statement more, but a big image allows you to refine more and edit more and go into detail more. Whereas something like this, finish really quickly, get a nice statement in, work on your brushmanship, or work on your suggestion, work on your ability to just simplify. And let's get started. You're gonna hear me sip on my tea a little bit. Man, drinking caffeine is just an amazing drug. So, a really cool reference over here. I'm gonna dip my Q-tip over here into the paint, dip it into a little bit of mineral spirits, move it around, and let's see. I'll try to get the big shape of the head, get a circle in to represent the cranium. Go ahead and pull in the line of the, I guess you want to call it the mask of the head or the mask of the face. The beard is obscuring the tilt line a little bit, but if I'm gonna look at the tilts of the eyebrows, it's kind of going like that, right? It's going up. So I'm gonna follow that to be the tilt of the chin over here. And again, it's difficult to follow because the beard is really covering what's going on. So if we take this as the corner point of where the beard turns, then just following the shape, we're doing something like that. And then it goes into the neck. From then on, maybe here I can have a line that delineates the area where the beard turns from this plane here to this plane here. Again, it goes counter to how I see the lines of these kind of plane lines go, right? They're going in this direction, so this is the nose line, and then you can see the beard line is kind of different. We'll see how this turns out. I'm gonna lift this eye line up a little bit. Let's see. Hopefully that means that I'm gonna lose some of the drawing. I'm creeping up a little uncomfortably close to this painting over here. So let's see. Let's try to solve that problem as quickly as possible, because that's the main problem right now. Pull out the forehead. The hair might be about here. We're still good. We're in safe territory. At least I hope so. We've got, just reiterating that line for myself. I'll go ahead and get that shape of the nose in there. Just a quick indication. I don't like that triangle. Maybe this needs to open a little bit more. And then, just put that indication over there. let's see. This eye socket goes like so, but then this comes out. See, there's something wrong here. The eye socket should be somewhere here. And then this is way too angled. It does pop out over there, but I misjudged the angle there. And again, in such a small drawing, one misjudgment really messes things up. So gotta be extra vigilant and extra careful in what I do over here. Let's see, got the cheek coming out, this mustache that turns into a beard coming out. Let's follow the design of the mustache. It's gonna be like so. An indication for the mouth, maybe just something like that to indicate that slight opening between his lips that he has. Got the bottom of the chin is going to be somewhere here. Pull this out a little bit. Follow the contour of the forehead. So this is going to be the hairline. Let's see. Let me do some erasing because some of these lines are getting confusing to me. So I'm going to dip this Q-tip, already dipped this Q-tip into some Mineral Spirit. Then I'm going to go ahead and get rid of these confusing lines. This is confusing to me. This is confusing to me. Right. And then I'll go ahead and reiterate some of the lines that I lost that I want to reiterate, mainly being this nose line over here, and then let's see, I have this shape here of the eye socket being something like that. I think a nice cool indication of the eye here would suffice. We've got this here of the cheekbone going into that rhythm over there. Got this rhythm of the skull here. What else? Let's see. Comparing the shape of the hairline and the distance that it has towards the eye socket, turning into beard, going in this connection, connecting to the mustache. There's something off here in my measurement, but I'm not, too concerned about that. I'm not, get rid of this. This is being really annoying. I'm not too concerned about drawing as much as I'm concerned about painting right now. I want to make sure that, I just want to get general placements, a general head that looks semi-decent, has the correct proportions, and then I'll figure it out from there. The ears, again, maybe I exaggerated the tilt a little bit, but I'd rather exaggerate the tilt and make it more dynamic rather than kill the tilt. Okay, neck coming from here, neck here. Look at that. That's a lollipop right there. I hate that lollipop. So what I'll do is I'll pull the neck rhythm. That is, I think these are the jugulars connecting. Oh, no. That's, man, I remember studying this in anatomy. These are the muscles that connect to the clavicle. I need to brush up on my anatomy. It's been a while. One of my favorite subjects to study. Human body anatomy. Fascinating, absolutely fascinating. How the muscles connect and how understanding how all of that stuff connects really makes you see better, but also affects the way you design, affects the way you relate things to each other. It's really, really awesome. Made his jaw and beard a little too big, but whatever. It still works, right? I think I want to push this like so. add some indication for the hair, and then I'll start painting. I think we've got hair to kind of back of head. He has more back of head here. This is the tiny skull that I gave him. Let's see. I think, you know, kind of skull wise, it's more like so, but then we add the hair on top. And with the hair, I'm just gonna make it a little more flowy and organic. I'm not gonna fuss about particularly following the shapes, you know, something like that. And then it flows like that, you know, some scraggles, good enough for me. Start painting. That's it. Again, this isn't about getting an accurate drawing. This isn't about getting a good drawing. This is about getting some practice in, some laying practice in, some drawing, just enough so that I can start to play around with values and things like that. So first, taking a look at this, there's not a lot of dark, like the darkest dark is the area probably under the chin, the beard, some areas of the hair, you know, even the shadows, they're really red actually and really warm, probably because of the lighting that's been used in this reference. There's, you know, definitely light coming in and hitting that shadow to make it look a lot lighter than it actually is. You know, and you look at the light right next to the shadow under the chin, which is, I mean, still in shadow, but the reflection is really strong. So the question is, do you want to push these? Do you want to keep them as they are? Number one, I'm going to solve the knowns. So what do I know? I know definitely that the area under the chin, where the beard is the darkest area. So I'll go ahead and pick my darkest dark for that. Now, am I going to open it up and, you know, not go value 0 for the dark? Yeah, I think I'm going to do that. In case I want to hit some accents here and there. For now, this will suffice. So I'll go ahead and boom, there you go, easy peasy, right? What is the other known that I know? This back of the skull here is also the darkest area, you know, same value. Man, this this brush is messed up, dude. Got splinters coming off. I'm tempted to cut these splinters off as well. I need to spend just a full session cleaning my brushes. They are in complete disarray. I know I keep repeating this in every video, but you know, considering that I keep saying this over and over, I think it's about time. You know, unfortunately, the area that I live in, not big in art, not big into the art, so the type of brushes that they bring are not that great. So I have to order them online from Amazon. It is what it is, you know, first world problems. You gotta get brushes flown to me like a king from outside, and I still complain. Okay, so squinting, the red of the, how do I put this? The shadow that is on the neck, that is caused by the chin, casting the shadow on the neck. When I squint, there's a difference, right? I mean, there I can still see that it's lighter than the underside of the beard, the underside of the chin. I'm gonna push it to be darker. I feel like mine won't read really well unless I push it to be really darker. So I'm gonna go ahead and just go with a darker value. This goes in this direction, and then it meets that tendon over there. And then there we go. So that's covered. And then I have that same value right here under the ear. So I'm gonna go ahead and cover that. Now let me add some medium, just so that I can flow this a little bit more and get more coverage. Linseed oil. double-edged sword. It makes things dry slower. And then I'll go ahead and get the rest of the dark of the hair in. Dark of the beard. Use that lighter value that I just used for the underplane of the nose, and also use it for the eye socket. Now, I think I'll just go dark with the whole eye socket, and then I'll paint the lights on top. I'll do the same here. Just go dark. Yeah, a very simple statement, you know. Let's see. I'm gonna go, I think I'm gonna match the value of the beard with the value of this right here. Let's see how that works out. Could go really wrong. Could be a stroke of genius. I have no idea. But, you know, crazier shit has happened, so. Just go ahead and indicate it like that. Let me get in the value of the skin tone. I think this value here that I'm seeing on my palette is gonna be good. You're gonna see it right now on the painting. Let's see, let's put it somewhere. Yeah, this is a good value. I like this value. Just make sure I don't, you know, go over the hair. Just go ahead and cover this. See what I did there? I don't like that. I had a nice shape for the eye socket, and then the clumsiness just messed it up, right? Always got to remind myself that my brush is clumsy. I got to be careful. I got to be careful. I don't have proper tools. Go buy proper tools. Go, you know. Can't mess around. Gotta be fully engaged. Engagement. Okay, I've been kind of on a soapbox about corporate jobs and things like that, and this is another thing, is engagement. You know, I find myself extremely disengaged in my line of work because I hate it, right? Sometimes you got to do what you got to do to get money. It is what it is. This is life, right? Big boy pants. But you know, when you really dislike something, or even, let's not just say dislike, when you're just tolerating it, become disengaged. You know, you act, you know, the whole thing of like acting as if you're busy just to pass time and appease your boss or whatever. This is too dark. I need it to be lighter. Actually, no, that's good. It's good for the shadow. I need it to be lighter. Okay, so I'm gonna lighten this up. Right? Because I want this to be part of the light family. It's a little too light now. Too dark, too light. Too this, too that. Too thick, too thin. Too hard, too soft. Just constant fixes. So anyways, being disengaged in your job, right? It really kills you, and it really makes it difficult for me to like get back into the painting mode, because when you're painting, you have to be fully engaged. All your faculties have to be on point. And when you spend a significant portion of your day disengaged, then it's almost like you're programming yourself to be disengaged, and then getting into engagement mode, so to speak, becomes a challenge. And I have to constantly remind myself that, hey man, like, this is the fight that you're fighting right now. This is the stage of your life that you're in right now, is to fight that good fight and do what you can. And I always got to remind myself that as soon as I pick up the paintbrush, as soon as I start laying in paint strokes, as soon as I start drawing, the engagement slowly starts to come. You know? So I have to just push and make the moves and take the action. And once the action is taken, things slowly but surely start to work themselves out, you know? It's all about taking action. Raw action solves 90% of the problems. Depressed? Go to the gym. Action. Confused about what to do? Start with something. Action. I was listening to a podcast by one of my favorite guys, man, Joko Willink, badass Navy SEAL, and I don't remember the details of the story exactly, so you know, don't go crazy on the comments if you've listened to this podcast and remember the story exactly as it is, but the details are unimportant as much as the context and the learning that you have, so basically that you get out of this story. So basically, if I remember correctly, Joko was talking about a friend of his or someone that he met doing jiu-jitsu, and the guy was just going through a divorce. He was devastated. I think he didn't have a job. I don't know. Like, he was just in a miserable place, you know, not a good place to be in. And it's really tough when you're a military guy, you go to war, you come back, and then you find that your girl doesn't like you, or she's cheating on you, or whatever it is, right? Now, again, I'm not sure if that's specifically what happened to that guy, but he was definitely going through a divorce, that I remember. And he was just feeling lost in life. And Joko just told him, hey man, what you need to do is just walk. What did he mean? Like, what do you mean walk? He's like, you're lost in a forest right now. You have no direction. You don't know how to get out of this forest. You know, all around you are trees. There's no end in sight. Pick a direction and walk. And when you pick a direction and walk, eventually, no matter what direction you picked, you're gonna end up exiting that forest. It's just simple. Find a direction and walk. Find a direction and take action. It will solve most of your problems. And now that I have the main values here, I'm gonna go a lot lighter here just because everything here is so dark. And I think it'll be a good contrast. So let me grab this messed up brush over here. I will grab in some mineral spirits as well, just to make things flow. And boom, there we go. I don't know where that dark crept in. Gotta start being careful also about these areas here. I think I want to go lighter actually. Let's do that. Goop of white, goop of white. Just goops of white everywhere, and then I'm going to start mixing. Okay. Now I'm going to use a brush that is slightly more controllable, just so that I can go through the areas that I don't want to mess up. And again, these areas all here can be refined, right? But again, not the point of this exercise. So this is going to be good for you guys who are super into detail and they got to refine everything and so on and so on. And like I said before, if you really want to challenge yourself, if you really want to challenge yourself, time this exercise. 20 minutes, 40 minutes, 1 hour, depending on how comfortable you are, right? I mean, if it takes you an hour to draw and get a decent drawing in, then maybe you want to do 2 hours, even if it's this size, you know? Maybe the term indication doesn't make any sense to you. I know it didn't to me. Like, I understood it, but trying to achieve it was like, what? Well then, maybe this is a good exercise to do that, because it'll force you It'll force you to understand it, you know? So what I want to do now is get rid of the static that's everywhere, maybe refine some of my shapes, and then go ahead and put the highlights on top. Actually, before that, I'll go ahead and add a value for the lights. See if I can do something about the dark. I don't like the fact that I have 3 values in the darks. Say I have 1, dark of the beard, 2, the dark of the neck, 3, these 2 values seem kind of different. Like this is darker than this. No, I gotta fix this. I'll turn this into 2 values, make sure it's, just closer to each other in value. 2 values, that's it. And then use 3 values for the face. But at least the fact that I have this down gives me something to compare, gives me something to work on, gives me something to fix. So when I have this, I shouldn't be thinking, oh, it's wrong, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, it is incorrect. Maybe it is correct to the reference, but it doesn't read. So I'll make it read. That's it. As I sip my tea here, God, I love red tea, man. Red tea is just, it's a gift from God, it really is. There are many gifts from God, and one of them is this red tea. No specific, I mean, I don't want to go ahead and promote this brand. I mean, I'm not into any specific brands or anything like that, but just caffeine, man. I love coffee as well. I prefer tea. I go through phases, sometimes I'm like on a tea phase, sometimes on a coffee phase. I prefer tea. Its caffeine content doesn't, make you as edgy as coffee does. See that? I lost the neck over here. So I've gotta give this guy a neck value. So there's just something like that. Fix the neck. And then I'll go ahead and reiterate the back of the head here. Go ahead and connect all this actually into one value. Even though there are different values in the reference, I just think it's gonna read better. I don't have time to explain what's happening in the reference, so I'm gonna have to indicate it, and translate it actually is the correct word, because I'm not following the reference as is. I'm making some changes to make things read better. Given the constraint of time that I have, given the constraint of space that I have, given the skill level that I have, a lot of things factor in for me to, come up with these decisions. And sometimes they're a good decision, sometimes they're not. But you do what you can with what you have. Go ahead and darken this value. Make sure that there we go. Having a Bob Ross moment. Right? And then I'll use that value for the hair as well. Over here. Over here. I think maybe I like the way that it goes light over there, so I'll keep it as is. Pushes it further back. And then I'll go ahead and darken this over here. Okay, let's see. Let me go ahead and use a more finesse brush to get an indication for the opening of the gap of the mouth. So it's gonna be like so. Add a node. I don't like that. Let's get rid of it. And let's get rid of that. Give it another try. If it works out, then it works out. If it doesn't work out, then I'm moving on. So think about this properly, see how we can execute it. So first let me go ahead and reestablish this, and then let's see, so the mouth, I think the opening of the mouth will be here. I could indicate it with a simple line like so, and then I'll have the node over here and here, and then I'll have the bottom of the chin like so. I think this is good enough. Okay, now I'm gonna indicate a few strokes for the ear. So we've got that triangular shape over here, this over here, and then I'll go ahead and add some highlights. So the major highlight I think is this one over here. So goop up a little more paint so that I can really stick that in. Right, and then there's that highlight there. I'll go ahead and add that highlight there. Highlight on the tip of the nose. That might have been too much. Let me get rid of this one. Now, see what I did there? When you do that, then you mess up the value. Is what it is. Let's see. Go ahead and add the highlight. Refine this highlight. Add the highlight here for the ear. Maybe one more here. He's got this powerful highlight over here. I don't really, I'm gonna get rid of that. It's gonna distract, it's gonna pull the eye to the wrong area. I want the eye to be in the face, not on the body, right? Let's see, now I'm gonna add one more value for the lights. That's gonna be between the highlight and the value that I have over there. I'm gonna have it here. Let's see as it mixes. Oof, it's way too light. It's almost, it's competing with the highlight. So let me temper it down. Temper it down again. Yeah, I think that's better. I think that's better. And then that same value will be here. Yeah, good enough for me. Let me fix that beard a little bit. Definitely goes in front here, and then like so, right? Don't make it as hard. And we've got ourselves a nice, quick, small painting. That's it. I mean, it's not gonna win any awards, but I got the practice that I need. So, that's it for today.